I know balancing school, homework, friends, and hobbies can be a lot. However, with a good routine, you can fit all this stuff into your schedule plus more. When I was in college, I was not only a full-time student, but I was also a full-time worker with 2 jobs. I streamed every day, posted YouTube videos every other day, and I was in a fraternity where I had to do a lot of events, and somehow I managed to fit all this stuff into my schedule, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you how. Before we hop into it though, please consider using code JivanTV in the Fortnite item shop, or at least make sure you're using somebody's code because it helps us out a ton. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so the first thing you obviously need to do is set your priorities. Priority number 1, always gonna be school and work. You gotta make sure you're getting your homework done and preparing for all of your tests. And then later we'll get into priorities within Fortnite itself. But yeah, like I said, obviously school needs to come first. So do anything you can to get your work done fast and really listen in class. That way you don't need to study as much for your tests. That's one of the biggest things that helped me out in college and high school. I would pay major attention and try to be as alert in class as possible. That way, I kind of already knew all the stuff that was going to be on the test without even studying. I know this isn't as easy as it sounds, but the more you listen in class and try to stay awake, the less you'll need to study in the long run. When I was in college, I was studying astrophysics, and I would be so alert during class when I noticed some of my other classmates dozing off. And then I would see those same classmates in the lounge studying for like 20 hours leading up to the test. I'm not even kidding. They'd be up until like 6 in the morning, 3 nights in a row studying. Meanwhile, I would stop in for about an hour and I'd be like, all right, I'm feeling good. And they'd all get mad at me because I would be ready for the test without even studying really. And the reason is I was super alert during class. I'd ask any questions I had, and now this is like the biggest thing that I did. During class, anytime I noticed my teacher talking about something that just didn't seem that important, like maybe they'd get off topic or be talking about stuff that's not on the test, I would always pull out my notes or the textbook and start studying stuff that I knew was going to be on the test and really lock it into my brain. I would use any class time that I could to learn crucial material that I knew I needed to know. Some teachers don't like that, they'll be like, oh, you gotta be listening to me. And I would always make excuses like, oh, I'm just going over something you said in the textbook because I was a little unclear on it. And then they'd be like, oh, okay. But the biggest thing is you gotta figure out studying techniques that work for you. Really experiment and try to figure out what works for you to get your work done the fastest and really prepare for the tests in the fastest way possible. Everything in life is about efficiency, trying to do things as fast and as good as possible. Same applies to school. Learning how to do things fast is not only going to help you in school, but it'll also help you in the real world once you graduate. So even if you don't figure it out this year what works best for you, figuring it out in the long run on how to stay focused and how to get work done fast will help you out. It'll set you apart from other people in the real world when you're actually doing real life stuff, you know what I mean? Like your job. So figure out what works for you. Now, next thing is obviously you gotta socialize. That's one of the biggest things in school, building lifelong friendships that are gonna last forever and building connects for your future. Maybe you'll even find some Fortnite grinders, but that's just an important thing. You don't wanna block out your social life just because of your grind. Now, let's talk about Fortnite. If you're just grinding to become a competitive player, you're not doing content or anything like that, then you gotta do priority practice. What this means is you prioritize certain things in your practice routine just in case you don't have a full amount of time to practice. Like let's say you have so much schoolwork that you only have an hour to practice. You're probably just going to want to grind creative, grind your mechanics, and grind any weak points in your game. So let's say you're really struggling with high ground retakes, then you would put that entire time towards practicing high ground retakes and maybe a little aim practice too. On days where I don't grind Fortnite because I have a lot of work to do, I just hop on and practice my aim for 30 minutes because that's my biggest weak point. And let's say you only have 3 hours of free time. Practice for 30 minutes in creative, doing your weak points, and then maybe move on to some scrims or some arena grinding. Biggest thing is figure out what you need to practice the most for your own success. Maybe you really need to work on your mechanics. You might want to put all 3 hours towards practicing in creative, doing some 1v1 zone wars or 2v2 zone wars, or just practicing in Raiders Peace Control maps for 3 hours straight. I know I've been there in the past. And now another big thing is tournaments. obviously if you're grinding to become a pro player, you're gonna wanna play in the tournaments. So maybe you have a lot of homework one weekend and you're like, crap, I don't think I'm gonna be able to play the tourneys. Then you're gonna need to plan ahead. Try to get as much homework done on Friday right as you get out of school before anything's happening. That way you have a clear mind and you can play the tourneys without any hesitation or any distraction. But maybe there's a Friday tournament that you wanna play. Before going into that tournament, start your homework a little bit, figure out how long it's gonna take you, and plan exactly in the weekend when you're going to get that homework done. And you gotta stay disciplined with that. By doing this, you'll still have a clear mind during the tournament because you know you'll be able to get your homework done at this time and it won't be a problem. But if you have homework that's in the back of your head and you're like, crap, I don't know when I'm gonna do this, but I really wanna play the tourney, then during the whole tourney, you're just gonna be kind of out of it and kind of distracted by your homework. So just do a little planning before the tourney and you'll be a lot better off during the tourney. And then some weekends, maybe you have finals the next week. You may just want to take off one tourney weekend. It's not that big of a deal, you know? Unless it's like FNCS and you're really close to qualifying for finals, or maybe you have teammates that are counting on you to be there, then you might want to pull a late nighter. But other than that, just take off. It's not that big of a deal. Think about it like this. Fortnite is actually my full-time career, but sometimes I'll be so out of it that I don't even want to play the tourney. So I don't, because it's not the end of the world missing one tourney. You gotta prioritize school first, alright? Now, let's say you're trying to become a content creator like me. It's actually a bit harder because you gotta find time to stream, you gotta find time to make videos. So if you're really limited on time, you should try to think of video ideas that either won't take you very long to edit or video ideas that you can hire somebody else to edit. Like maybe you do a live commentary, you record the whole thing, and you just send it off to an editor. That'll save you a lot of time, and all you'll have to worry about is playing the game and managing socials. The biggest thing that helped me out as a content creator when I was in school was obviously all the stuff I talked about earlier with school and trying to get your work done fast, but also trying to figure out a schedule as a content creator that minimized the amount of actual work time I had to put in. I developed lots of video series that didn't take me too long to edit. That way I didn't have to worry about staying up late every single night working on videos. It was mostly about gathering the right clips. I hope that makes sense. And then as a streamer, the biggest thing is just turn on your stream anytime you're about to play the game. Even if you just have like an hour and a half or 2 hours, turn it on. But if you have under an hour to stream, I would just tweet out and say, I'm really busy, I can't stream. And maybe just hop in and do your warm-up routine just to get some practice. But other than that, I would say just turn on that stream anytime you're about to play the game. It's a good habit to build as a streamer and content creator. Even on days where you feel like, oh, I don't really want to stream, I don't really have the energy for it, sometimes if you just hit that live button, you'll snap out of it and you'll be ready to stream. I know I've been there. Worst comes to worst, maybe you're an hour in and you're really not feeling it. You can just say, sorry guys, I'm really not feeling it, and you end stream. But I'll tell you, there's been a million times where I hit that stream button and I just snap out of it, and streaming honestly brightens my day. So I just say do it. And now the last piece of advice I have for you is get a notebook, get a calendar, get a whiteboard. Writing stuff down is the biggest key to success in my life, and it might be in yours too. At the end of every day nowadays, I just write down what I have to do the next day. I give myself a whole list, that way I can start the day productive and get a lot done. But if you're in school, maybe you want to save that calendar planning for after school. As soon as you come home, you write down all the homework you got to do and what you want to accomplish outside of your schoolwork. And then you just go through that to-do list one by one, crossing things off as you go. There's no better feeling. I'd say I've become twice as productive ever since I got a whiteboard. So just go to the store or go on Amazon, buy a whiteboard, buy a notebook, and it's a GG's. You're about to go Super Saiyan mode. Just make it a part of your routine and you'll be chilling. Anyways guys, I hope this video helped you out. I'm telling you, you can accomplish so much stuff if you have the right life techniques. Just experiment around until you find something that really works for you, and as soon as that happens, you'll start getting way more stuff done. Anyways guys, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, be sure to hit that like button, sub if you're new, use code JivanTV in the item shop, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.